Welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. It'll be considerably warmer. I'm in a t-shirt, which is weird. What are we doing? I'm in an odd mood. I've no idea what. Well, I do know why. It's been a manic week at work. It's just been mental. I've got a fair amount done in the evenings actually, but I am absolutely ball bagged. But anyway, let's get on with this because this is what I do for fun, and it just purges my brain of shite throughout the week. Last upload you would have seen on Otto would have been me playing with my new sandblaster, and I know people are going to say you need a new compressor, this, that and the other. It's fine for what I'm using it for. Heavy rust might be one thing, but getting rid of old paint is absolutely bang on. It's fine. It just takes a bit longer because periodically I need to let it build up a bit of pressure, but I'm a tit in a shed. It works for me. Yeah, so what I've been doing is using that to go through the front end of the bike, all of which has been off, painted and back on. I haven't rubbed it down, so it is raw paint, because that'll do, frankly, but the whole front end looks considerably better. It just looks smarter. So that is sandblasted down, dose of primer, dose of black, dose of lacquer over the top just to give it some protection. There's a few more bits I need to do, which is basically just going to be, hand paint, and that's just raw primer on there. I just want to chuck some black or something on the top just to finish these off. Yeah, fine. Digger. What am I doing today? I'm going to go for balancing. I have balanced them before, but after I balanced them, I realised that my manifolds were goosed completely. And a few of you guys have said about you probably need to rebalance, and you are 100% correct. I do. So I'm going to do that now. I do have some concerns over jetting now. Where are we? So back in the manual of fun, primary jet is 78, main jet, or primary is 78, sorry, secondary main jet is 112 as stock. That's what I pulled out of it. Having done some research, my first stab was a 90-120, which seemed to be pretty universal for if they've been converted to pods and to non-standard exhaust / 2-to-1. But I was using the cheap Chinese ones to start with because it hadn't been rejetted accordingly, and I don't think I'm far off. If I have a concern, the jump from 112 to 120 isn't that much. That's about right as far as I can get it. That's a big old jump on the primary main jet, but it seems to be running okay, so I need a bit of a play. But first things first, before I start messing around too much with the jetting, is to make sure those carbs are balanced. Now I think they are. They were balanced on leaking manifolds when I did it, so this is a confirmatory check as much as anything else. So on this bike, I haven't got another comparator anymore. Quite often you just get barbs on there that just jam on straight on. Periodically you get the screws, so one on each side. If you remember when I bought these manifolds, they didn't come with the screws, which is a bit strange. So they're the screws from the original manifolds that I tidied up a little bit. I'm going to whip those out, put the brass bits in, and get it going. The bike is, reasonably warm. It's cooled down enough to touch now, but I'll need to leave it to run for a little bit. But I'm going to get those in first and then get it running. Right, there we go. Nice warm engine, and it sounds so much better on that exhaust. It's not rattling my fillings. We're not a million miles off. One is bouncing more than the other because I have adjusted the airflow on these little airflow screws, which I don't appear to be able to do one-handed. So I'm a little bit left, a little bit low side, So I've got to fight my way to let me see if I can point to it. There we go. That lock nut there, so that I can adjust that screw. So I'm not going to film doing that, because we're going to get in each other's way. So let me get to that. Right, there we go. I think we're good. That was a pain. So trying to not move that lock nut wrong, not move the bolt while you're doing that lock nut is a dick. But I think we're good. I think we're good. Right, I'm just going to, I want to have a look at the rev counter. The wire that I've got on there is really quite thick. A few people are saying about using thinner wire or even stripping the casing off it, because it's quite thick, and I might just do that now, and then I'm going to break out a bit of black and go over the switches and the like, just to tidy it off a bit. So there we go. I've had at it with a little paintbrush and a little bit of engine enamel. I've kind of quietened down the switches and the choke and the high beam, low beam, just chucked a bit of black on it, a little bit of black on various parts of the engine as well, just to cover up where it's flaked a little bit. Not trying to conceal stuff, just trying to make stuff look a little bit better. I've chucked some air in the tyres as well. They weren't drastically low, but speaking of which, I had a relatively long trip out on Ivan in the week, by relatively, 110 miles each way. I had a bit of a check over before I went, checked my tyre pressures, and they were way low. So I, lesson learnt, or personal lesson learnt, just keep an eye on your tyre pressures and that's stupid. But yeah, particularly because I was hoiking up and down motorways, check the pressures and they were way low. So anyway, so tyre pressures back up. Now I've pulled it out, let's have a better look at what we've been up to. So the front end, all around the headlight, just looks so much fresher now. If I can find any old photos or whatever, I will, and I'll throw it on. But it's just a nicer thing to look at now. Just looks so much fresher, and that's just whipping stuff off, chucking it through my sandblaster to get the old paint off. Bit of primer, bit of primer, bit of black, and a little bit of lacquer over the top. Been over some of the exposed wiring and just rewrapped it, just to make it look a little bit smarter. So it really is, trying to smarten up. Now I'm happier on how it's running. I'm still slightly dubious about the jetting, but what I'm going to do is hoik it up and down the hill to see how it feels. I've rewrapped the cable on the rev counter, so I've effectively still got it, or I've put it away somewhere. There we go. So what I've effectively done, that's what I had before. I've used the same wire because it's what I've got, but I've stripped the plastic off, so it's just now bare. 8 turns wrapped around there, and then some loom tape over the top to crush it against the HC lead. What I've also done is I noticed that when it's unsprung, when it's tight, it wasn't getting a lot of reading, so I've spread it out so it's covering more of the cable. It seems to be better, but we'll see when we go for a run. Oh, I've got erectile dysfunction on my microphone again. Common complaint of men of a certain age. Right, I'm going to go and jump on the bike and we'll have a look. Right, let's go for it, shall we? I don't know why I'm pulling the clutch, I always do. With every single bike, even those that don't have a clutch switch. I always start a bike before putting my gloves on. For some reason, I always put my left glove on before my right one. It's not a luck thing. Oh, I was going to chuck some black as well. Make sure I don't reverse into Ivan, that would be really annoying. All these tyres feel bobbly now, I've got a bit more pressure in them. I feel like I'm riding a tractor. yeah, that rev counter's come alive. So I may have sorted that out a little bit more. It's still not perfect, but it moves when you rev, which is kind of the main thing. Oh. I haven't adjusted the idle since I've balanced it, so I might have to boost the idle a little bit. Yeah, it's idling a little bit low. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, I appear to have my full beams on. And I've painted the switch. Thank you, Vicar. That's not a Vicar. It just said V-car on a license plate. Could be a Vicar. Alright, I'm going to pull in and just see if I can raise the idle ever so slightly, because that has dropped a little bit. Oh, that'll be neutral. It has raised a little bit since I've balanced. Do a quick neutral hunt. Right, can't remember where the idle switch is. The idle, there we go. Oh, that's down, dickhead. How's that? That sounds better. Right, let's try that again. So that's just from balancing, I think. From balancing those carbs, I hadn't adjusted it upwards. It's quite wide, this, around the old engine, being the horizontal twin, so backpedaling. I do feel like my legs are pretty swayed. I think you'd struggle on this if you were a stumpy. Quite a tall bike. There you go. Rev counter is showing revs. No, it's nothing like accurate, but at least it's working. It's moving, which is enough for me. It's kind of for show, I think. Might need to adjust these bars a little bit. First, neutral. Second, third. Oh, I am doing this in trainers. That's really unpleasant. So for all you squids out there that go riding in trainers routinely, you're fucking idiots, because it hurts your toes, it ruins your shoes, and it's really bad if you have a crash. And someone's going to whinge that I'm doing it on a test ride, but hey. I might need to just tighten up my clock, so I've got a little bit of a vibey rattle going on there, but that's fine. That's why we do these little runs. Yes, this is nice, hang on. I have something vibing then, I can't quite work out what it is. Let me work that out. I'll probably drop you out because this is probably really boring while I try and work out what's vibrating. Oh, might be a car coming. No. Thank you. It's in the light. Easy. Easy fixer. well happy with that. Will be once I've worked out what's jangling in the headlight. Right, and drop you back in. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. It's looking proper smart and it's riding fucking beautifully. My only problem I have with it is I want to keep it. If I can find any footage or old photos of what Otto looked like when I first got him, I'll try and drop them in while I'm talking rubbish, but it's such a sweet bike. I know people have said about the tyres and say, well, get rid of them. I like them because they're different. I really like them because they're different. Yeah. Cool. Right, that'll do. Right, I think I've made a decision. I think Otto needs to go to a new home, I think. Now the question is, what's he worth, people? So 1981 CX500. I don't know what to call it. Scrambler? Flat track? Flat track probably. Yeah, what's he worth? What do I put him up for? Now, I think what I'm going to do is wait for a nice sunny day. Hopefully in the next week. I may have missed the one day of summer that we've had so far, but on a nice sunny day, break him out, give him a good lick of, give him a good lick, give him a good bit of spit and polish, and put him on the market. But how much for? What do you thought? What's your thoughts, people? Cheers all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.